Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. Hurricane Earl came and went last week, and aside from the rain, it was a non-event as compared to what many feared would happen. But the mere thought of a hurricane did have an impact on local business this past Labor Day weekend. That's according to Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce Wendy Northcross. She joined us on Barnstable this morning on Tuesday, September 7th, to give us her assessment of the last big weekend of the summer. And that's where we begin this week's BTM highlights.
Yeah, I mean, Friday we were really careful to check with some of our larger resorts and, our hotel properties that we tracked very carefully because they do generate significant amounts of rooms taxes, and that's a block of business that we can compare from month to month and all of that. And they were reporting cancellations. They said probably in aggregate is about a 10% loss of business going into the weekend. But ironically, they were picking up bedrooms from the insurance companies were blocking books of rooms because they were going to send their adjusters. You had the utility crews here. You had 1,000 utility people here over the weekend. You had the media were crawling all over the place, and they were booking rooms as well, although some people stayed with friends. So there was a little bit of a backfill from all of that activity. But then when Saturday was beautiful, the media left, the utility crews left, the insurance guys never showed up. So there was a little bit of a bite. But I will tell you, we were with the governor Saturday morning when he announced the all clear. Driving back to West Barnstable, it was just obvious that people were streaming onto the Cape. They had just played it safe, didn't come here Friday night, but they were here Saturday.
Well, that's great news. And I wonder if you have any kind of at least vague sense of whether the Friday losses were made up on the remaining 3 days of the holiday weekend. Yeah,
I spent literally Saturday and Sunday, actually and Monday, traveling around the Cape and talking to different people. And some people said yes, some people said no. It just depends on the type of business. But some people said that it chased away enough business on Friday that didn't, get backfilled for the rest of the 3 days. But others were quite satisfied with the weekend, and the weather was it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was great beach weather. So it was not a total washout.
The biggest news in the town of Barnstable this week was the State Department of Transportation's approval of a $13.1 million grant that will fund about 90% of the cost to build a new airport terminal. This marks what is more or less the end of 15 years of project changes and delays. Airport Commission Chairman Dan Santos told us on Wednesday, September 8th, that there are still issues to work through, but that this week's decision is still a sweet one for those who have worked long and hard to finally get this project off the ground.
Well, it's extremely gratifying. We've spent about 15 years on this project in the planning and all the aspects of it, and the final piece of the puzzle was to get this grant so that we can proceed ahead with our construction. So the Aeronautics Division presented to the Department of Transportation Board just late yesterday afternoon our grant request and application, and they found favorably for us and made the grant. They did condition the grant, however, with a small condition because Manager Bud Briel may have discussed this with you in the past, that one of our abutters has filed an appeal of one of the Cape Cod Commission decisions in the land court.
Yeah.
And really, as due diligence, the Department of Transportation said that they would award us the grant, but they would not pay any of the pay requisitions, because the way this works is we spend our money and then they reimburse us. So they wouldn't reimburse us until that land court dispute has been settled.
I see.
We don't see this as an issue at all because we have money in bonding so that we'll be under construction immediately, and we're on a fast track to settle this lawsuit in the land court, and it's possible that we'll even have a settlement much sooner than the land court trial, which would be in probably a January time frame. So we don't have any trouble with them having put this condition on that. They're just covering covering their bases, and we're very comfortable with it.
From now through the November election, our water protection segment each Thursday will provide you with the most accurate scientific information on how nutrient loading and chemical contaminants are impacting the waters of Cape Cod. This week, we heard from Cape Cod Commission hydrologist Gabrielle Belfit, who explained the effects of human development on our water.
As we've built more and more on the Cape, we have a few areas that we're treating nitrogen compounds, which would be in a septic system or an advanced denitrification system.
Mm-hmm.
And so that load of nitrogen is increased exponentially with, or I should say not exponentially, is increased as the population is increased.
Yeah, that makes sense. The more chemical breakdowns happening in septic systems and the like, the more potential for leaching nitrate into the water.
Right, and with the Title V systems, they're designed to handle bacteria. They do an excellent job of taking out the solid load. They break down even quite a few of the the more elaborate compounds, but we're finding pharmaceuticals come through in a septic system, viruses can come through in a septic system, and most definitely nitrate can come through in a septic system.
Sure.
So that lots and lots of research has very well documented what a Title V system can and cannot do, and that's kind of, we have a wonderful filtering system with our porous sandy soil, but unfortunately those systems aren't designed to treat the compounds that most affect our coastal waters. So that's how we find ourselves in this situation.
Sure.
Which as groundwater moves fairly slowly, it's taken a while for us to see the impact. And now we very much are. We're seeing algal blooms, we're seeing loss of eelgrass beds, we're seeing the destruction of shellfish habitat, and very, very much of a wake-up call to do a little bit better with our wastewater infrastructure, do a little bit better with our handling of stormwater.
The town of Barnstable's shellfish relay program is again paying off in the 3-bay system. On Friday, September 10th, Natural Resource Officer Amy Rado gave us the scoop on some new places to go shellfishing that are set to open a little bit later this month.
Sunday, September 26th, we have 3 relay areas opening that have been closed since probably May, June. We have the South Bay Road relay area in West Bay. There's the Cordwood Recreational area in Katuitt Bay, and the Katuitt Town Dock relay area also in Katuitt Bay.
How soon can people go and still find shellfish there? Because I'm sure all the commercial folks out there are going to be all over that place.
Well, typically, the commercial guys will come in and work the relay areas for a few weeks, and they don't remove all of the shellfish, contrary to popular belief. They take usually what's, most marketable for them at that moment in time, which does change from time to time. Sometimes it's small stuff, sometimes it's bigger stuff. Most of the time it's smaller stuff.
Okay.
But the areas will continue to put out for a very long time. We put a lot of stock in there.
If you'd like to see any of these complete interviews, full-length episodes of Barnstable This Morning are available online. You can find them in the town's video archives at town.barnstable.ma.us. Well, that's all for now. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.